Greetings, my students. Today is day 11. That means we are going to be learning 13 amazing words. We're starting off with something I hope sounds familiar to you. Title page. This is on page 9. To start off, write down definition of title page. What does this mean? So your definition should look something like this. The page at the front of a book that shows the title, author, and publisher. This is the basic information of a book, what it's called, who wrote it, and which company helped to put the book together. There might be more information on the title page, like there might be a picture, sometimes there's an illustrator, but no matter what, these 3 things are always on the title page. Now, draw a picture in your packet to represent title page. Here's an example of what a title page could look like. Running Out of Time by Margaret Peterson Haddix, Random House Publishers. It has the title, the author, and the publisher. Now, please go to page 1 and find caption. A caption is a short explanation for a picture or diagram. So this is when you see a picture and underneath there's a little bit of writing that explains what's in that picture. Or you see a diagram and there's a little writing at the bottom that explains what's in that diagram. So in your 3rd column of the packet, draw a picture in your packet, then add a caption to it. Here's my example. Really simple, basic picture. I have a sun over some water. So what did I do? Underneath the picture, I wrote my caption, and it's just explaining what's in the picture. The sun over the water. That's all there is to it. Now we are going to talk about the word label. This is on page 5. A label is a word or phrase that shows what is in the picture, diagram, etc. So it's a little different than a caption. It's not a written explanation underneath the picture. It's showing specific parts of a picture or a diagram. So draw a picture of a person in your packet in that 3rd column and add labels for the body parts to it. So you will draw a person and then you're going to add labels to show what these body parts are. Here are the body parts I chose to label: arms, head, neck, and leg. You might have chosen other ones, as long as you have some body parts labeled on the person. So notice how I have the word with an arrow that shows where exactly in the picture this is. It's a label. Now we are going to page 2 to look at the word context. Context is the setting of something, including the words that surround a word. We have talked a lot this year about context clues. So context clues would be the words around another word that help you figure out what that word means. Here's an example. Mary felt very because she had not eaten in 10 hours. So the underlined part, this is the context of this made-up word. It's surrounding this word here. So this here is the context. It's the clues I use to figure out what this word can mean. So based on the context, talk to your partner about what you think means right now. I bet you said something like this. Means hungry. Here are my clues to figure it out. Looking at the words around this, so it's something she feels because she hasn't eaten in 10 hours. When I don't eat for a long time, I feel really hungry. So I bet this word here means hungry. We are now moving right along to page 4 to find graphic organizer. A graphic organizer is a chart you use to organize your thinking. So you're organizing in a graphic organizer. Here are examples: a Venn diagram, a web, boxes and bullets. In the third column of your packet, draw a small picture of each graphic organizer. So each one of these, draw in your packet. So your graphic organizer picture should look something like what I have here. I bet your definition looked like this: a graphic organizer used to compare two things. If you're missing a part of this definition that I have, please add it into your packet now. Now, draw a picture of a graphic organizer in your packet. More specifically, draw a picture of a Venn diagram in your packet in the third column. Then what are two things you could compare? I think I'm going to compare me and my brother. Me and Danny. Now please flip back one page and find the word text. It's at the very, very bottom. A text is words in a book or other written things. So a text could be a text message. It could be the words in a book. It could be an article. All of those examples are words written down. Here's an example. Reading the text of this book is difficult for me because I don't know many of the words. I'm reading the words in the book. Now talk to your partner. What are some other examples of a text? Here are a few of some of the other examples: a text message, newspaper, book, website. These are all examples of words written down. Now we are going to talk about note. A note is a short letter or listing of facts or thoughts. Here's an example. I wrote a note to myself to get more glue sticks for the classroom. So it's a short little letter I wrote to myself to give myself a little bit of a reminder. Now, talk to your partner. Why do you think it is called a Post-it note? So I'm thinking that a Post-it note is pretty small. You cannot fit that much information on it. And a note is a short letter writing a fact, a thought, just a little short thing you're writing. So a post-it note, it's probably called a note because it's small, just enough space to write down a little thought or a little fact for yourself. Now we are going to look at the word list in the middle of page 5. A list is a number of things that have something in common. So there's a couple ways we could do this. The first is this. We are going to make a grocery store list in your packet. So in the third column, you'll see written down grocery store list. So we're going to make a list of the things we need from the store. For example, milk, butter, and now add 3 more items to the list in your packet. Then, with a little bit of space at the bottom, write down this sentence. I need milk, butter. Then, what were the other things that you said that you needed on your grocery store list? Notice how I have commas between each one of these items. You should have commas between the things that you write in a list. We are listing things and we put commas between them. Here's my example grocery store list. I need milk, butter, eggs, chocolate, bread. So in my sentence I wrote, I need milk, comma, butter, comma, eggs, comma, bread, comma, and chocolate, comma. Next, we are going to talk about topic on page 9. So all that the word topic means is what something is about. For example, the topic of today's math lesson is the distributive property. It's what is today's math lesson about? Well, today's math lesson is about the distributive property. That is the topic. Now finish the sentence to your partner. Remember, we say the whole sentence. The topic of our social studies unit is... You should have said, the topic of our social studies unit is revolutions. Revolutions is what our unit is about. Next, we are going to flip back to page 8 and look at the word statement. A statement is a sentence that says something true. So basically, a statement is a sentence. For example, pizza is delicious. In your packet, write another statement now in the third column, underneath my own example. Next, we are going to go back to page 7, and towards the top, you'll find the word question. I really hope you know what a question is, so write down the definition of this word now. So a question is something that you wonder about. Maybe you said something you don't know that you ask, something along those lines. Now draw a picture to represent the word question. Here is my picture to represent question. This person here has a question. They are wondering about what in the world is going on with this person. Why are they running and screaming? Our last word is going to be rhetorical question. This is on the same page, page 7, just a little bit below. So a rhetorical question is a very special kind of question. It's a question you ask without expecting an answer. You usually say it to make a point. So for example, can fish swim? So if someone said to me, "Are you going to Ellen's party tonight?" and I said, "Can fish swim?" I wouldn't be expecting the person to say, "Yes, fish can swim." I say it to make a point, to get the other person to think, like, duh, obviously fish can swim. So then that means, duh, obviously the answer is yes, I'm going to Ellen's party. I'm not actually expecting them to answer the question. I just want them to think about the answer. Here's another example of a rhetorical question. What is the meaning of life? It's something that I'm asking, but I'm not expecting anyone to answer it. No one knows the meaning of life, so I'm not really expecting an answer here. I'm just saying it to say, hey, who knows what life is all about? So now think of your own example of a rhetorical question and tell it to your partner. What's a question you might ask without actually expecting an answer from someone back? Here's an example of a rhetorical question you might hear at school. The teacher might say to you, "What are you doing?" if you are not doing what you are supposed to be doing. Let's say you were drawing. The teacher wouldn't necessarily be expecting you to say, "I'm drawing." Instead, what the teacher wants you to do is think, "That's right, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I'm not doing my math assignment," or whatever it is. The teacher is not expecting you to answer the question to say what you're doing. They're just saying this question to make a point. So that is the last word for today's vocabulary. You now should be able to do day 11 homework.